Northwest Hill. Sorry.
Towel it up.
It looks like it will be nice.
It ran all the way through here. And then there were 16 houses here. More Joe's factory was down there. All right, guys. So here's what you're looking at. This brown-colored building.
Hey, Mom.
The city put a new roof on it about 2 years ago because people were falling through the roof and would crawl up there. So they put an aluminum roof on it. The elective class started collecting things last year in, I think it was March. So everything that you see on this building, the mural done by kids, was designed by kids. We hired a artist to come and work with them and how to apply the tile and so on. They paid the artist, they raised the money. And so all the materials you see there are scrounged up demolitions from bathrooms. We worked through Habitat for Humanity to get a lot of the tiles. Green Glass provided old broken mirrors. They've been saving them for us. Wow. So if you walk around, this is a design put together by students and implemented by students. They did this in 2 days.
That's really good.
They had 2 days off to get it done. So they were scrambling, and they were out here at 7 in the morning, and some of them were still here at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So if you walk around it, we did have vandalism. You can see some of the mirrors have been smashed. The eyes were stolen off the mosquito. But we sort of run into a point where I think this board was hanging on it and not much is happening anymore. Okay.
There used to be a fireplace here.
Yeah, you can still see the outline, see?
Fireplace, yes, I see it. Wow.
Yeah, so do I.
It was a giant grill for cookouts because this used to be a park.
Oh.
But it used to be a bar.
It's now become the
It's on video.
It wasn't really official, but it...
unsafe equipment we had down there, like that big spinning thing that we used to spin each other off of?
You mean the merry-go-round?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember we actually had what they called a slide, and it was made out of metal, and it had sharp edges that would kill you.
Over there was over
remember that one. I remember that.
When you poured over
They
there,
kicked
that we
us
had
out from down there,
convincing
so it must be when they were replacing it. They kicked us out from down there and they put the plastic.
But the little sand digger things had been there for a while.
Okay, over here, guys, is we've got a lot of weeds that have to come out. And as we said earlier, we're not done planting. The trees were the first phase of the planting. There's about $3,000 worth of trees here. We had truckloads of dirt. Oaks Company drove the dirt here, dropped it off for us free. We had to spread it out with shovels and wheelbarrows to make the berms. The idea of the berms are this. The students said, well, how are we going to keep these basketballs? Because during the summer, there's people playing on both courts all summer long. And so the idea was to create the berm to slow basketball down. We also used some of the rock to make benches so neighbors can sit and watch basketball while some people are playing it. This is going to be the classroom. A lot of the stone was destroyed. We had benches made. And over the spring and summer, a lot of it's been knocked down. And we'll go rework that or go to plan 2 soon. The section over here, on the other side of this tree, is the rain garden. So you see where that brown vehicle is? That's the water line from both buildings in the parking lot. All that water runs to that area. That's the rain garden. Okay? Over here is going to be a meditation garden. The kids designed it where they'd have trees, where they kind of get in quietly, sit down, have their lunch, hang out with their friends. So in this little corner of the berm here is what we're going to call the meditation garden. So we've got a lot of work to do yet, a lot of weeds. This is going to be all prairie plants in the middle. We planted seed in here, prairie plant seeds, but we're not sure if we got weeds or prairie plant seeds. So these are all things we're going to figure out. A lot of this here is weeds. We'll take the weeds out when we get back to school. We've got an elective class that's going to maintain the garden. If you look on top, there's the solar panels on top of the building. And you can see them the whole length of the building up there.
Do you have a anemometer up there?
Yeah, we've got a small weather station there so we can tell what temperature is in the building, what's the wind. And if you go to WaldenGreenSchool.com, there'll be a gauge there that tells you how much power is being used in the building. You can watch the lights go on in the morning and see our energy usage go up, how much power we're taking in on the solar panels. And again, we're not using any of that power. We're selling, so for 1 kilowatt, we get twice what you'd have to pay to use that kilowatt. We're getting it twice when we put it back into the grid for We Energies. And again, that money will be used hopefully to fix some things in our building.
Well, because it's still power at school, even though you don't.
We're not using any power at all. We're sending it back. All of it's going back. And actually, it wouldn't power much. So if you wanted to see what that does, Pam, do you have anything you want to add to this? Oh, thanks.
I just figured how many we have in the state of Minnesota.
The alderman, Jeff Coe, has been great. Anytime we call him, he's here. He lives 2 blocks over. This is a project that's near and dear to him. He thinks the Walden kids are great. He does a lot of things here to help us. The next move is this. Once we get this established, the garden, and the neighborhood starts to use it and appreciate it, there's a guy named Karam Butler who plays basketball and actually played basketball in this neighborhood. And so our next move is, hey, Karam, call me. Maybe we could do something to improve the courts. Maybe that would be, he does a lot of things in the community, donates money back, so we're thinking that we might tap his ideas on what we could do to make the courts better for people in the neighborhood. So.
And also some of the kids at the end of the year, although this was just barely put in, thought it would be nice to get picnic tables out here that both the students and community could use.
Yep.
So I know that's something they're hoping to do.
It's been difficult for us to get the community, St. Paul's Baptist Church, the center over here, to kind of help us out. They're wondering what we're up to. So I think now they get a feeling that we're willing to work hard to make our little block a little nicer. And so I think things will get better as we go along with the neighborhood. We have a lot of people here are watching out for the gardens. We have called police when there's been vandalism in the garden. Exactly. I was just saying earlier, that guy, the house over there, the White House with the grid on the porch, his house when he was a little kid was right here where this building is. That's how he grew up with, you know. And so this would have been, the sidewalks were here for Franklin Street. The sewers are all part of the street system here. So if you want to take a better look at the solar panels, you've probably all seen them before, but that's what runs here. And the city of Racine just put a bunch of solar panels up at their annex down the block. So we're this corridor between the city of Racine, Walden, and Johnson Company, being a little more green than they were 2 or 3 years ago. Okay. Hey, thanks for coming. I hope you have a good time at your alumni festival, and we can take you in over here if you wouldn't mind stopping back and talking to some of the Green School kids. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. We've kind of hogged you during this time, and they'd like to tell you what they've been up to too, I'm sure. So,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.